those pesky, things like pesky ghouls and stuff that might have a secondary attack, a spell. Pistol demons are the big one. Oh no, pistol demons only have attacks in this. But I think what's one of the first enemies that have a spell attached to them?
The first ones I always think of are red gargoyles, or you have to really look out for. And it looks like we've gotten started, and right in the black magic, we're seeing warp and zap. So they've got their AoE spell, and they've got their ability to warp around. And on the white magic side, I didn't see a whole lot. I think I saw a harm spell, and that was about it.
I'd probably pick up that harm spell. Yeah, they're going to pick up... Yeah, a brottster picked up the harm 2. Harm 2, very useful. If I get a harm 4, feel much better about going into an early marsh cave.
Yeah, I completely agree. It makes your white mage so much more useful right at the beginning of the game. And we see both competitors going ahead and killing their initial round of 5 imps, using that zap spell, or not. xIceblue getting some awful rolls there.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, zap is essentially a AoE version of Bane. Somewhat of a low accuracy, but in these early stages, not really. You can get rid of a lot of enemies with zap. It can be quite useful for the early game. It basically, you can consider it like a level 2 spell when it comes to its ability to kill things throughout the game, because it's going to be fine early on, but later it's going to start missing some damage rolls.
Both xIceblue and brottster head back into town. Yeah. Brottster's going to take another look at those spells while xIceblue's loading up on his heal pots for his rush over to the Temple of Fiends. In these round 2 stats, enemy stats have changed a little bit as well. We're going 71% to 240% of normal. And then critically, and maybe you can explain this a little bit to our audience this evening, the RNG table is no longer vanilla. It has been randomized for the round 2. What does that change as far as routing and as far as your considerations when you're playing the game?
Well, the long and short of it is that in round 1 you could, very spot on is that you could learn the Temple of Fiends minute. It's probably the most useful one in the randomizer, since for the most part you aren't going anywhere near the step count of the main game. But since in the main game they do a hard reset before Temple of Fiends to manipulate the RNG a bit smoother, you can use that and get through Temple of Fiends and pretty much avoid all of the dangerous encounters. So they can't do that now. They can't predict what that is. But you're going to notice that for the most part they're going to be soft resetted, which is slightly faster throughout the run, unless they see a pattern in the early dungeons. For example, maybe they'll hard reset before Volcano, and if they get an encounter 1 tile into that volcano and it's a good encounter to farm, that might change up where they farm. But it all depends. For the most part, what it means is that it is no longer vanilla. They're going to get any sort of random encounters in any sort of order at this point.
Meanwhile, xIceblue has taken down Garland, who has fallen, but we'll see him again in a couple of hours in his new and improved form. Up in the upper left-hand corner chests that xIceblue found and brottster is going to find, assuming he looks, the Flame Sword, which is a very nice pickup for a fighter or for a red mage here early in the game, as well as a Pro Ring. Pro Rings protect against instant death, and so the runners will be super happy to see that.
And Kara, is this the first one with weapon stats fixed? I believe so.
Nope, the round 2 spells still use the original weapon stats, so they'll have the original attack values and the original critical hit values.
So still OP. What's his name? Black belt. Now, is that red mage dead intentionally on brottster's side? I wonder.
I gotta tell you, I didn't see what happened to him, whether or not something just got a hold of it, or whether...
He also doesn't have the flame sword. Did he never check the top left corner?
He must not have.
That would be an odd mistake.
I've seen some runners here in the last few runs skip the chests and come back with the ship, because you can just go ahead and warp right back out, or reset back out. Oh! Looks like he's going to kill Garland first and then go look for the chest. That's the first time I've seen anybody do that, I think.
Well, I mean, you can do this. You can check the first chest, check that, check the second, third chest, warp, go back to Garland, or just the princess. Oh, he's not warping. I would have warped there, personally. but if he doesn't flee, I guess he gets one more encounter kill.
xIceblue already through the wall of chests and is rushing over to Provoca. He is on a tear at this point. We're barely 5 minutes in, and he's almost already to Provoca. Looks like he really wants that second win.
Well, I mean, I would honestly do what he's doing as well. It for the most part. Oh yeah, okay. So he's doing all the chests. I see.
Meanwhile, xIceblue, with his first encounters with the wolves, or Rururoos, as some people in chat like to say them, he is going to go ahead and go through those and rush off over into Provoca. He's picking up a little bit of money, a little bit of experience, and poor brottster's getting just
what an MVP
by the
bat
bats.
there!
Ouch.
Wow, MVP is for Garland there. Suddenly stopping their quest.
Here comes our look at the Provoca chests. Red mages can learn every spell in this town, and there's Cure 3 and Fog 2. Those are very nice pickups.
And what we really want to see is Life 2. That's probably one of the best spells that we can get.
And that is what I would call a bad set of black magic spells. There was not a whole lot there.
So I guess so since he's a red mage, he really only has 4 magic shops to work with, which leads to some interesting stuff in the later seeds, where you're trying to remember what spells where you can specifically learn. Luckily, this game allows you to buy spells that you currently aren't of level for, unlike the remakes, where they'll just yell at you if you're too low level.
Yeah. So we're 2 towns in with the level 1 and level 2 spells, and the only real attack spell we've seen on the black magic side is Zap, which is okay, but not that exciting. And the only real white magic spell we saw that can attack anything is Harm 2. And so we're heading over into Elfland, really hoping that we find some better spells before they have to go challenge Marsh Cave.
The main power that xIceblue is going to have is through his red mage, if he can get an attack. Otherwise, he basically has to keep him alive as a warp, which isn't ideal.
Bottle sighting in Provoca. Everybody mark that down. They'll need to come back here in order to pick up their bottle with the fairy in it to go ahead and turn that into the Oxy Ale. xIceblue running back into town, probably just to save his game here real quick and recharges magic spells, and out he goes to sea. brottster's right behind him, sees that lovely array of spells available for him there at Provoca, and nopes right out of that.
Yeah, so he's going to probably go to Alfheim first to check the spells there. Even though he probably won't be going to Marsh Cave early. Oh no, he's going to go straight to Dwarf Cave. Interesting.
So he drops his save there, so that if there's nothing of interest in Dwarf Cave, he'll just go ahead and reset and be back at sea. So I would expect he'll run from all of these encounters, since he's not expecting to keep the experience. What is your preferred routing in races like this, Elnas? Do you go to check Elfland first, or do you go check these 2 chests up in Dwarf Cave?
I checked the first 2 chests in Dwarf Cave. I guess maybe it's direct if xIceblue is doing it. And there he goes. He saves and quits. Nothing in there. Just a house. So basically now, this is kind of what nobody likes to do, but happens the majority of the time. We have to go and fight an annoying dungeon. Good for experience, though. I mean, they have Harm 2. Hopefully they find something else. Oh, there's Harm 3.
Yeah, and they did have Lightning 3 in the black magic side, so they picked up something a little bit better. That'll make those wizards easier to counter in Marsh Cave.
If he didn't get that Ice 3, that would have... Oh, there's Life. It doesn't buy it. I'm confused. Does he just not have a lot of money? Oh, he does not have a lot of money. He needs to farm out some money from the odors outside. So he's just taking notes on what he's going to do. And pretty much all those shops were worthwhile. So...
The level 4 black magic had Temper, which will be useful for the fighter later in the game, but you can take a look at his black magic table at that point. There was not a ton there. You got Lightning 3. That'll have to carry you through the early part of the game here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's that's all he needs. He needs to get through this early part of the game. He needs to get to the fire temple, the volcano. Once he gets to the volcano, he can find the Agama double tiles and wreck them. Now, there is a problem, is that Agama is not as safe in round 2 as he was in round 1. In round 2, his heat spell is randomized. So heat is generally not very dangerous from Agama, but if he gets something like Bane or Toxic, it can be a little difficult.
Yeah, I agree with that. So this is the first time that I think we might see somebody in a round 2 really go consider visiting the Ice Cave and grinding on the Eye to see what its spells were in comparison, especially if the Agama rolls up something awful as one of its spells. And even at that point, then even the Red Dragon, which is nearby down in Gugu Volcano, could be of use depending on what spell that it has.
Yeah, another popular one is the Zombie Dragon at Ordeals, the Ice Dragon there's an Ice Dragon encounter you can farm in Ice Cave as well. Because I has 4 spells that he cycles, so if he gets a high HP value early, it might still be dangerous to fight him. But the Ice Dragon and all the Dragons, normal, somewhat dangerous attacks could be slightly less dangerous. Now their stats are still very high, so if they high roll, it can be a little slow. But sometimes when Agama has Toxic or Bane or XXX, you might want to consider fighting that Red Dragon. So right now, xIceblue is just farming some money, so he can buy all the very juicy spells that he found in Elfheim.
And brottster's going ahead and checking all of the chests, or all of the magic available to him in Elfland as well. He's gone ahead and closed up this lead a little bit that xIceblue had eked out on. He's got a little bit more money. He's looking like he bought his life spell and only has 27 gold pieces left. So really good money management there. And now I don't believe he can save his game, so he has to go use a tent instead.
Well, he's just going straight for it. He's not even buying his other way. That's risky when you've got a harm 3 there that you could use. Like, I think
his white mage does know harm 2, and so
right.
He's not going in completely unarmed.
Well, I mean, just having extra thins is generally a good idea, especially for such a dangerous area. Now, luckily, there isn't too many guys who have spells, if any, in Marsh Cave. I'm not sure if anybody casts spells in Marsh Cave.
Yeah, when I'm thinking about it, and I don't believe anybody would have a spell or a skill that would be shuffled in this version of the randomizer. The only thing they have to worry about here are, your Death Touch or your Stone Touch, or if anything got shuffled over on those.
Yep, because those are still shuffled even in round 1. The big thing to watch out for people who are wondering is in round 3 when enemies' scripts start getting shuffled. So basically every enemy has a script, so ghouls will attack, goblins attack, but if you're high enough level will flee, etc. That will start getting shuffled. It's real funny when you start seeing red dragons run from you. But that's where it starts to get really dangerous, especially in the areas like this that have high density encounters that are also unrunnable. Or not unrunnable, but ambush you.
So xIceblue finished clearing out the top of Marsh Cave, heading now down to the several chests at the bottom of Marsh Cave, looking either for our first progression item, which would either be the TNT, which is most likely. There's a small possibility the crown could be down here, at which point the TNT is hiding elsewhere. But that's a relative rarity. But watch, I just jinxed everybody and it'll be the crown. So we'll start looking at those now.
Yep. All these chests down here, this place sucks because of how hard it is to get through without getting injured, especially if this place gets high rolled like it did in my race, and you're just kind of eating your way to each treasure chest hoping that you survive. Oh, look, there's the TNT. Sounds good. As you gotta keep going, you may as well. You got warp spells, so...
Yeah, I agree. Once you're down here, just go ahead and finish the dungeon up.
He does have to be careful, though, that he has enough warp casts to get back up. And he does, because, he got the other spell. That's actually going to be something that brottster's going to have to be worried about is that he has far more limited casts. Unless he keeps one of his mages. He basically has to make sure he still has 2 level 1 spell casts to get out of here very quickly. Or 3, actually. And yes, I spell Dragon, or I don't spell it that way, I pronounce it that way. It's the reason I don't commentate Dragon Warrior.
And so, for anybody who hasn't seen the Final Fantasy Randomizer before, obviously the things in this version of the randomizer that have been shuffled include all of the chests, which we're looking at now. All of the items in every one of the shops has been randomized. That includes your weapons, your armor, and wow, there's the crown. Okay, I'll stop with my explanation for a second. An early crown, Zelnas. That just opened the game wide up.
He left there fast.
Yeah, he did. He got the heck out of there. So early crown means that a whole host of chests that these runners might not normally see just opened up to them right here at the beginning of the game. What's your call now? Do you go ahead and do you use the TNT and keep on moving, or do you stop and do you look at some of these chests now that are available to you?
Well, you have to get the Mr. T eventually, and like with the early TN or with the early crown, it means, well, I mean, it doesn't really mean that much. If it's found before floater, it increases the chance, obviously, that those chests contain floater, and there's just so many safe chests you can get here. Like, you could get a sun sword, you can get ribbons. I would absolutely do the crown quest first.
And it looks like that's exactly what xIceblue is doing.
It's sort of like if you found like an early mirror in Link to the Past, it might encourage you to do a little bit more overworld before the dungeons than you normally would, just because you can do a very, very nice circle. And in this, you can do a very nice circle of this first area. And the reason that he left the cave before checking all of the chests, he wasn't actually done checking the chests. That's because he's going to go and back there. There's 3 chests at the bottom there that he can check. But that'll be the last thing he does. He may even avoid doing that for a long time. Yeah, and Warp is probably one of the best spells to find in your first 2 shops. So, having that access early and having lots of charges of it is very nice, in my opinion.
And it's really super nice to find the early crown like that. The crown is such a trolley progression item and tends to hide in so many, late game dungeons where really you're just one item away from go mode. Yep. And it always seems to be the crown. And you're wandering off in random dungeons, looking for it. It bodes well that this might be a fast seed for these runners, depending now if they can find a couple of the other ones.
Well, since in this, go mode is far faster. It only requires floater, crown, bottle, and was that chime, right? No, tablet.
Yep, slab.
And then you're slab, and then you're in go mode. You're just looking for 3 items, TNT, but that's sort of like I don't know. That's sort of like I guess that doesn't have an analog to other randomizers I can think of. The TNT is very weird in that you're guaranteed to get it within the first 25 minutes. It unlocks the rest of the world. It kind of makes this game feel a little bit more vanilla than other randomizers sometimes.
It's good old classic Final Fantasy gating, right? You can't get out of your starting area until you find the correct progression item and beat the correct boss, and then they'll go ahead and let you play in the rest of the world.
Yeah, do it. Oh, and life and exit. Yeah, somebody pointed out that they now have life and exit and warp. Very, very nice things. What times are the matches tomorrow? You can, I think, do !FFR in chat, and you'll get all the information for the tournament. Early crown just makes me so happy to see it.
I completely agree. It makes me happy that that's one less thing that I have to to worry about later, and it opens up the possibility of some really sweet items earlier in the game that help your run out that much better later on.
Yeah, and I think I commend the people who are able to run like so many different randomizers. Like, I'm able to run this, Link to the Past. That's about it. And then you have people like Jay Coper who will just go Dragon Warrior, Final Fantasy, Zelda, one sit-in. It's like these randomizers are fun, but they are hard. Yeah, the crown. I like to say that the crown is this game's bow. It's an item that can appear almost anywhere in the world, except for like a few very specific spots, because it only opens up very specific things, but it's still required to beat the game.
So I'll go ahead and continue the explanation of the randomizer that I was doing earlier. Shops and magic spells are shuffled, as is pretty clear at this point. If you're joining us for the first time, enemy skills and spells and status attacks have also been shuffled in the randomizer. And in later rounds, the amount of enemies that can cast spells and everything is also shuffled. The RNG table has been randomized. Enemy stats have been tweaked to be anywhere between 71% to 240% of their original value. And if you're an old school player of Final Fantasy, you'll note some in-game conveniences that have been added to the randomizer. You'll note that the people run much faster than they do in original old, slow, boring Final Fantasy. Because we have a dash mechanic, press B to run. You can buy 10 of an item in the item shop and instead of spending all of your day growing old, buying 99 potions one at a time. And then there's an experience and a gold boost, and that's super helpful to get this into a true speed running sort of feel. Each enemy grants 5 times its original experience, as well as an additional 500 gold per enemy killed. And that really soups up the game and gets you on your way much faster. Oh yeah, and I see a comment in chat about black magic spells working. That is correct. Saber and Temper and Lock 2 have all been fixed so that they actually function. And especially, Saber and Temper are such a huge change to the game. Having those opens up some real interesting strategies.
Yeah, it allows you to, it makes black mages much better, specifically Temper, and especially if you find because you only need to cast one of those once or twice to really give your team a decent boost. And red mages can become very powerful if they can have access to, say, Hollow Slab. Nice
okay,
to see you.
So and there's a ribbon. Wow. Okay, so a slab was locked behind the crown. So that's the third progression item. That really means that the only thing that they're going to look for that's in a chest at this point is going to be the floater. And the floater can be in several dungeons, but not that many when you think about it.
No, I mean, it's Incentivize isn't on. If Incentivize was on and we already found both of these, I'd be like, your first trip is Ice Cave right now. You do your grind at Ice Cave, you risk it. Because there's such a good chance of that floater chest being floater at that point. So, but unfortunately we're not. But I would say, Volcano, easy stop right now.
Yeah, I have to agree that Volcano is probably the next place you have to go. And xIceblue and brottster, when brottster finds this lab, will know that. What Zelnas was just referring to, if you're not familiar, is that there's a couple of toggles on the randomizer so that you can incentivize a couple of dungeons that you might not normally otherwise visit, that being Ice Cave and Castle of Ordeals up in the northern continent. Because of the randomizer, there's not a guarantee that there's going to be anything interesting, but you can give the game a tweak and force the game to place something interesting in either of or both of those locations if you want to do so. Tonight in tonight's randomizer round, neither of those dungeons are what we call incentivized, but you can do that if you want.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people forget, but the incentivize isn't just for progression. It also is for things like Excalibur for adamantite, for Mazamoon, ribbons, pro-rins, etc. Things that are very good that runners look for even after they're in quote-unquote go mode. And lots of runners will have the items required for go mode, but will still check a lot of chests on the way. Oh yeah, somebody pointed out white shirt. It's cast in Viz, I believe, or in Viz 2. Oh wait, we're only looking for floater at this point, Palom. So this is one of those seeds.
Yeah,
where,
this is going super fast. I agree.
Part of you almost feels like, man, do I want to risk doing something like that might put me ahead? Like in brottster's position, how comfortable is he against xIceblue? Does he take a gamble somewhere? Does he go somewhere that maybe xIceblue wouldn't and hope that floater is there? Like, I don't know, the Cavern of Earth. That would be an interesting gamble.
And what we're seeing brottster do now is he's going to go back and take a look at those chests up at the top of Temple of Fiends on the right-hand side, which I don't believe xIceblue has checked these 3.
Nope.
So we'll get a peek at a few more chests here.
Most runners get their canoe first, because you can canoe and stop right there, I think, or maybe they wait till floater. But I mean, what if floater's here? Sorry, there is no river there. That's my bad. I think you only save a little bit of time with that. But if floater's in one of these chests, then brott's just got a huge advantage, because he can grab his canoe and go straight for flight. He can chip some of the extra shots, because he has a black mage, so he actually has some value to chip some of the late game spots.
So I just dropped a link in the Discord to Tau Pixel, but anybody's welcome to click onto it to join our Discord. Our Discord is exploding at this point with new people that are picking up this randomizer. And if you're interested in joining us, anybody in chat that whether you were a fan of Final Fantasy in the NES days or the PSP days, or have never picked up the game before, we're happy to help you get set up with this. We started a month ago. We were doing maybe one race every other day, and now we're up to, gosh, it feels like 5 or 6 a day. At this point, it's the community is just growing by leaps and bounds, and the Discord is at the heart of that. And so, if you're interested in learning more about this randomizer and picking it up, we'd be more than happy to have you with us. Go ahead and click on the Discord and join the community.
Yeah. So the force class was randomly. Yes, the force class was random. And later it's going to get more and more. Right now it's 1, next round 2, round after that 3, round after that 4. So by the end, your entire party is going to be forced. I believe that's the semis, because the finals are on the same seed, I think. Or are they on an even further push seed? I can't remember right now.
Yeah, and anybody that's interested in looking at that can go, just put !FFR into the chat, and you can see the entire tournament bracket and the different seeds and not seeds but flags that we'll be using throughout the entire tournament. We started out in round 1, and the race immediately following this one will still be on round 1 seeds. So you'll be able to see a slight difference in how the round progression works. And it'll go all the way up to some very, very difficult round seeds. It's really a showcase for the randomizer, and will show viewers from the beginning to the end really what this randomizer can do.
Yes, and there will be no even if right now, even if there is a update to the randomizer, we will still be using this specific version, just because, keeping it the same across the tournament, nobody ends up doing a round on a different version by accident, etc. So this is a good time to get started, because chances are the community will continue to race the same rules, etc. for the next about a month and a half, 2 months.
Yep, you're absolutely right, Zelmus. We are at version 1.4.4 of this randomizer, and we are going to hold it at this version for at least the next month. so that new people can join and learn the randomizer. It's still in active development, and we'll be adding things to it later. But we thought that since we're running a tournament with it, everybody should get a chance to view it and learn it like you see it here before development continues.
J Toper's race is going to be directly after this one. Well, with another race, but J Toper's the race with J Toper in it will be right after, I believe.
Yep, and I'm actually Jay Coper's competitor in a couple of hours, and so I don't put my chances at winning at a huge amount, but I'll give him a run for his money, I hope. First look at the Gurgu Volcano now, and this is where the randomizer round 2 seeds can really start to mess with people, because there's a lot of enemies in here that can cast spells. The original ones stink, and you never know what they're going to have now.
Yeah, I mean, the big ones that will kind of get a little trolly are Paralists, actually, as he gets trance. Oh, wow, Paralists with trance. That's a little rude.
And there's my least favorite enemy encounter in here, those red gargoyles I saw very briefly on xIceblue screen. They usually cast fire too. Oh, here they are.
But they can have anything, really. We'll see what they get.
So far, so... Oh, lovely, no frost.
So that's bad. Frost breathe in red gargoyles.
Ooh, Power Gauntlet, really nice pickup. And there's the floater. Okay, so we're kind of technically sort of in go mode at this point.
Oh, and I mean, they just picked up defense. So this is... He's gonna check these chests, then probably warp to save. Yeah, he's equipping ice and flame, so he's got a little bit of a stronger team. Dropping some of the bad items, keeping defense there. Tail would be nice. I would check Zardia Islands after this.
Yeah, I think you're going to do that just because there are free chests there. But let's see. Well, there's an opal bracelet. He's picking up items he wants right and left at this point. He's got all the pro rings he needs. He's got a ribbon. He's got the power gauntlet. He's got the defense sword. And so he's relatively close to needing all of the items he would want here. What else would you want to pick up at this point, Zelnus, in order to really call it go mode and get done with this?
Wizard Staff, maybe? Just to have a free AoE? That's about it. I mean, I think I'd chip Zardia Islands and then just beat the game. At this point, I don't think I'd be checking anything else. I see a lot of runners check the chests in Mirage Tower, but I mean, unless I'm looking for an item, I just go. Maybe that's my PSP speedrunner instance in me. Just like, what are chests? Those don't exist after. Those don't exist. Especially since some of the key items aren't even chests. They're like special little things. Chests don't even exist to PSP runners.
I'll be very interested now to watch xIceblue and see how much he thinks about leveling down here at the bottom of the volcano at the traditional Agama spot or at the Red Dragon spot, or whether he really feels like this is true go mode and he needs to be done. We're still super early. We're 33 minutes in. And they have all of the progression items they need to finish with, a few fetch quests here and there. But boy, I mean, you could conceivably rush the game and try to get now to the Temple of Fiends Revisited at something like a level 20 or a level 21 and see whether or not you can finish. This is really interesting.
I mean, you do need to level up, especially since his main power is going to be his black belt. Unless he finds Tail. Then his knight kind of starts excelling.
At this point, looking at the two different party compositions, Zelnus, brottster went with a fighter and 3 mages. xIceblue has a fighter, a black belt, and 2 mages. You've got all of the progression items you need now. Who picked the better party, so to speak? Or what, in your opinion, who do you think is better set up to rush this?
I think it's xIceblue, but that depends on. It really depends on how easy it's going to be for xIceblue to grind. If all of the easy to grind encounters have rough spells, then he's got to kind of improvise, maybe kill things on the way, like he's doing. He's also seems to be sticking with a 4 party, which probably is because he has access to life on his white mage, so the one character you normally kill off to fast level isn't really the great option right now.
I think I tend to agree with you on xIceblue probably having the better party for the situation at this point. I see on brottster's side 3 mages, and we've made it all the way through Crescent Lake now, and there's not been a whole lot of black magic spells out there for his black mage to use. The red mage and white mage are okay.
I'd honestly kill off my black mage at this point, because he's very useless, and just stick with the 3 party. The white mage can keep them healed up. She has tier 3, she has life, you have exit, so you don't need the black mage at that point. Your red mage has zap, your red mage has a few nice little spells there. I believe somebody mentioned that Tempers, or Saber or Tempers there as well. Oh man, Trance is awful.
Paralisks are fun in no game, not even this one.
For Barat, I would it looks like xIceblue is gonna probably go. We'll see when he gets to the next
now.
one.
There he goes.
Yeah. Dane Paralisk. That's a rough Paralisk spell to have.
Super rough situation too, because he was close to that floater and couldn't pick it up there. So he's backing in now.
Slowing down so he doesn't hit a tile, I believe. Okay, so he's saving. Brott's just running. This is FF1 randomizer in a nutshell. It's kind of like Dragon Warrior randomizer, but slightly less brutal.
For those of you who are watching xIceblue and wondering why he's running on the lava, the lava does not advance the step counter for encounters in the game, and so you take the 1 hit point damage hit because you're not going to run into any enemies while you're on the lava. So that's his strategy there.
Yeah, Ichiban pretty much caught it on the top of the head. You may take damage, but you don't get encounters. It's only 1 damage a tile. Now, the worst part is actually the damage to your real-life eyes and ears.
Not so much though as you do when you're poisoned. We had somebody in Discord who had never played Final Fantasy before, and complained to us that his seed was making a terrible screeching sound, and he thought it was a bug. And after he took a video of it and showed it to us, we realized that no, one of his characters was just poisoned. But if you aren't used to NES Final Fantasy, you think that screeching sound, something is terribly wrong. I thought the game was broken.
Yeah.
So xIceblue is going to near that area where we'll see whether or not he's going to grind on the Agamas. It's got a few more chests to check up here. And there's the tail.
Oh, okay. So if Brott gets that tail, I think Brott has the better party, because red wizards are kind of bosses. Like, in my opinion, they have a decent weapon table. They and the master doesn't do anything except for make the black belt worse. So I think that actually swings it a little bit in Brott's direction. I mean, he's gonna need all the help he can get because he is playing against xIceblue.
Yeah, I agree. The tail is a huge help for him, that's for sure. It'll open up additional charges in the spell table that his red and white and black mage are going to find terribly useful. xIceblue, maybe not as excited about finding the tail. We'll see whether or not he class changes. I could see an argument for him just skipping it entirely. Like we said earlier, he's pretty close from a party standpoint to having all of the equipment that he's going to look for a go mode run here.
Yeah, just so that people know, if you do have epilepsy and you're worried, you probably, almost definitely, won't be getting any kind of thing from the effect from a restream of a stream that isn't super high quality, so you should be fine. Because unless you're actually playing the game in front of you, because at 60 FPS it actually is a warning. Definitely, if you have epilepsy, don't play Final Fantasy 1 on the NES, please. At least on console. For your safety. On emulator, it's super, super inconsistent. Sometimes I don't even see the poison effect, honestly. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. Where it sometimes will show you the effect, and sometimes it's just,
I've
just
noticed
kind of a,
right.
yeah. I believe that's an emulator thing, because it's not refreshing properly. Yeah. Is there an FF4? There are multiple resources. If you can find them all in the Discord, there's some great websites, some maps. I like to recommend ff1maps.com if you aren't super familiar. It gives you a fully interactive map of the entire game and all the dungeons. It is brilliant. I love it.
And also, I just threw up into the chat there. The About the Game is a guide, an introductory guide to the Final Fantasy Randomizer. And then if you're interested in the intricacies of the randomizer, down below that, ffr.files.net was written by a couple of our members of what I affectionately call the Circle of Sages, where they've put together a pretty detailed randomizer speedrun guide. After you've played the randomizer once or twice and you feel like you're ready to learn more about the intricacies, that's a good guide for you. Yes, I said threw up into chat. Let's move on.
Now, I didn't you notice this from NL7, self-play the vanilla game before randomizer. Don't feel... If I would recommend actually playing the PSP version and getting used to where everything is. The NES version and PSP version, the only differences in the map are the bonus dungeons, which you mostly ignore, obviously, if you're just trying to learn the map. I learned this game from the FF1 PSP speedrun, and that really helps your, like, being able to find your bearings on this very... kind of sometimes plain world map, very large oceans, very large expanses with nothing to see. So that's actually, there's two different ways. You could just play a casual playthrough, or alternatively, learn the FF1 PSP speedrun, and that will help you quite a bit.
I would definitely recommend, as much as I love old school Final Fantasy, it is a much, much slower game than what you're seeing here. And so if you're going to play the NES version of Final Fantasy, you can essentially play vanilla Final Fantasy while using the randomizer. We can show you the flags that you would need to plug in so that you would get all of the game conveniences, like being able to dash. And
oh, right, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do it. Now that we have those sites up, yeah, actually just play the NES version, but with the randomizer fixes. Yeah, do that. That's better. It's a better idea.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to learn it, come into the Discord and we'll get you set up with it.
Mm-hmm.
xIceblue looking like he might want to grind on the Red Dragon here. This is he's done a few encounters of these now.
He might have been getting annoyed by the random dazzle, and it seemed like it was taking him a while to kill the Adama, but the Red Dragon's actually fallen very quickly. So this seems to be the better option. Adama seemed to have gone a high roll, but with a bad spell, so it made for some easy early level in. Now you can safely grind on this Drayden.
Mm-hmm. And that Red Dragon gives a good hefty amount of experience, even when you have 4 people up like this. Mm-hmm. It's still giving you a good 3,200 experience per person per kill. So it's this appears to be the place to grind this time.
Yeah, learning any of the remakes is good for learning the world map, but learning the randomizer intricacies, definitely do at very least a vanilla run with the conveniences on.
So now that we're going to be grinding for a couple of seconds, this is a really, really good... Oh, maybe we're not going to be grinding. Looks like xIceBlue's done. But I will go ahead and say anyways, everybody go ahead and please give your love to Fiesel for allowing us more airtime on speed gaming. Fiesel is just a boss, and we love him for his support of Final Fantasy and for the randomizer. So much love to you, Fiesel. Thank you again.
Oh, as always.
First fiend up. Carrie is generally the first fiend to fall in randomizer just because of the volcano. The volcano has 30 chests in it, and is pretty easy to clear out. And so it doesn't look so far like Carrie has too much that's going to frighten our runners here.
Yeah, the biggest concern with these bosses is oh, hey, Poison, how are you?
Never mind, I take it all back.
Luckily, he has heal staff, so he's getting free full party heal 2s, I believe. So, it's relatively safe.
Softnum, I see your question in chat. What's the forced party member? Forced party member that was rolled for this game was the Rich. And so, to be completely honest, I think both of these runners probably would have run a red mage anyways. And so it didn't end up being that much of a challenge to them. The later we get into this tournament, though, the more forced party characters our players are going to have to deal with. And we do allow doubles. And so any of you with those dreams of double white mages, double thieves, triple black mages, any of those things, we might be seeing later in this tournament.
In before finals or quadruple white mage.
You know, it could happen, and I don't know. The game could still be beatable. We might all have to set aside 8 hours to find out. But
I mean, there's nothing stopping it. You level up to 50, you find the Mazamoon, you make one of your white mages just cut people up with a giant sword. Quadruple thief in round 5 would actually not be the worst party ever. Let's be honest.
It's just getting to the class change. I think once you're past the class change, you're home free. It's just getting to that point that might be brutal.
Depending on the early weapons, Vorpal with weapon fixes is good. Some of the weapons like that are weird and have no they're just a name. Quite good on the thief. Yeah, quad thief is not that bad in randomizer, honestly.
So we're watching xIceblue sail over to pick up his airship. First stop after the airship, Zelnas, what are you thinking? Probably the Zardia Islands?
I don't see why you wouldn't. Doesn't make much sense to skip it. Too many good chests there. You don't have all the good stuff. No Sun Sword yet, no Adamantite. You have the tail, so you're going to go to Zardia Island anyway. Yeah, he's going straight there based on his map movement right now. Did he miss? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, he's going to go visit the Titan. There is 4 chests in this cave on the other side of the Titan. And it's kind of on the way, so he's going to take a few seconds to see what he finds here.
May as well, or he might also just finish up all of the fetchy stuff. Yeah, he's going to finish up all of the fetch quests he needs to do. Get all of the items required to beat the game. They should have been Thief and Ninja Dual Wilderness. Well, go back a couple decades in time, find Nazir, let him know that dual wielding was going to be a staple in RPGs in the 10 years after the fact. Maybe he'd do it. I don't think dual wielding was really a staple in these games until FF4 had a dual wielder, I think.
So we're seeing a bit of a strategy change here. xIceblue is still sprinting on and is going to go ahead and clear out dungeons. Brottster has paused, and it looks like he's going to Agama grind a little bit. The question that I'm wondering here is that, you know, his red mage is probably going to fall.
That's, I think, his intention.
Right. When it would leave his fighter and his white mage up. But if you're done, do you bring either of those back? Could you conceivably try to end this game with just 2 characters up?
With those 2 characters? Probably. I mean, Heaven Life, believe his red mage can no life 1. So maybe I'd bring the red mage back up. In the late game, probably just keep the black mage dead.
xIceblue being trolled by bats. We'll look to see later on whether or not we see Out of Bounds Bat, which is the happiest, friendliest bat in the game. But these bats in Earth Cave are just awful to deal with. And if you're not careful, some of them can make you reset a run.
Yeah. I think at this point we're gonna be hoping that Like, I just he's hoping that Fiends will be nice. I mean, Fighter can get through this. He has defense, so like he can basically play vanilla. Like just have the one like super fighter. Like that looks like that might be his strategy, is just going with that one super fighter. Now why he's choosing the white mage instead of the red mage as his second, I'm not sure. That seems unwise. You already have defense and some good swords, so the red mage isn't bad.
Nope, looks like he's going to bring his party back up for a full attempt at carry here.
Yeah. And I actually do like xIceblue with his party doing it the way he's doing it, because I forgot, like, he probably isn't going to class change. He might, but he actually might not, because again, it doesn't do anything for his main hitter. He can still use the defense sword for its functions.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think his fighter is very close to having everything he needs. He's got a good set of armor on it, and the defense is a serviceable sword to finish the game with. So I think he's probably close to finishing chests here. He's gonna
find an adamantite.
Clear out the Earth Cave here. Yep. Yeah, and that'd be about it. Either that or the Masamune. We haven't found that yet either.
Yeah. Well, Masamune can be equipped on a base fighter, so I believe it can be equipped on anyone. But yeah, I think that adamantite is probably the only thing that would consider a class change. So yeah, like what Setver says. I can't read that from here. Setver, I'm tired. I need glasses. Okay, so it looks like we are fighting carry. It'll be interesting. I think he's going to go to Zardia Islands, brottster. I'd be surprised. This class change would very much help his party.
Yeah, I tend to agree that will probably be his next stop, and it's a good idea for him. He needs more equipment than xIceblue needs at this point, and the class change is going to be more critical for him. Mm-hmm. First look at Lich on the right-hand side. Hello to him.
Luckily he has harm. He's gonna... Oh, no, just an attack, so we won't see a spell just yet. Harm 2? I thought they had harm 3. Guess he never bought it. Or actually, I thought they had harm 4. Somebody mentioned harm 4. I'm pretty sure I remember. I guess he didn't buy it. And bye-bye.
So brottster kills carry, xIceblue kills Lich. We've got orbs lit up right and left. We'll see where brottster goes next. It'll be sort of a critical pick for him here. xIceblue, neither of them have the bottle yet, so I would not be surprised to see somebody go sail over to Provoca to pick that up.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, xIceBlue's probably got a decent like movement route in his head. Oh, he's going to Zardia. Okay, I eat my words. He is going to class change. Or maybe he's just going to check the free chests, which is also not bad. He might only be checking the free chests. So, don't forget these 4 chests here. Just FYI, I did that a lot. Did that twice. And there's an item there, both times.
That'll teach you real fast, won't it?
Yeah. It took me 2 runs to realize what I was forgetting. Save and quit it until you can get to this place. Oh, hello, Ruby. We don't need you. Go away.
Yep, so the Ruby, even though it has that fun, you found something interesting music when the chest opens, the Ruby is only a required progression item in Final Fantasy Randomizer in limited instances. It is a required item when we need, well, usually when the floater is locked deep in the Earth Cave. Is the time that you find that you need the Ruby so that you can feed the Titan, so that you can get to the rod, so that you can clean out the Earth Cave entirely. I would say, what do you think, Zelnasan? 1 in 10? Is the Ruby required?
I've only had 1 run total in like 50, 60 seeds where Ruby was required, and 1 where you got an early Ruby and you didn't find progression in like I found Ruby in the volcano, but no other progression, like no floater. Mm-hmm. So I just went back to Temple of Earth, did that. Also didn't find progression there. went to Ice Cave, also didn't find progression. That was a fun scene. What lost that by like 30 minutes. It turned out the progression was in Ordeals, which is the last night chat.
It looks like both sides are going to class change. xIceblue has already class changed, and brottster's on his way. xIceblue's immediately taking use of that and picking up some extra spells here.
Yep. So the main thing is like the Red Wizard now has access to all of the spells in the first shops. No restrictions there, and that's the biggest change. Plus, I believe he gets some additional level 5 spells, but nothing level 6, 7, or 8. Could be wrong though. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he gets access to all level 1 through 5. Or 1 through 4 spells and some level 5.
Yep, that's correct. Bottle pickup for xIceblue, which means he's going to Gaia next. He'll go ahead and unleash that fairy, and then go ahead and pick up the Oxy Ale. So his next stop here might be the Sea Shrine.
He might also go to Waterfall Cave. Well, I guess, yeah, he'd probably go to Waterfall Cave first, and then maybe it depends on how many items he wants, because going to Mirage is better for that.
So looking at his armor list there, the only thing that really jumps out at me that he's missing is a good set of armor for his knight. He's still rocking the chainmail on that knight, and he's going to need something with a little more oomph in order to rush the end of the game here.
Oh, he went on the wrong side of the cave. It's unfortunate.
Now using a silver bracelet on his knight.
Now, what would you say is the memeiest chest to open? That isn't Ruby.
Oh, that isn't Ruby? Well, 10 gold is hilarious.
Is there not a 1 gold chest in this? Is 10?
No, I don't think there is a 1 gold. I think the developers have been talking about adding one just as a troll. No, 10 gold, I always say, gee, thanks. I also, anytime I find a wooden staff, I wonder why that exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are chests I'm not all that excited about finding.
Now, unfortunately, I wanted to start a tradition here, but the runners left their grind too quickly. I guess I'll have to wait for that one.
Well, now I'm all curious. What was your tradition?
Well, I was going to say, because screw best FF discussion, only time that I believe that as a community we should all agree that the only time we're allowed to discuss FF games, best, worst, is if both players are grinding, and only then. I believe the community can handle that, maybe.
xIceblue's landing up on the northern continent, which means we've come. If you would like to think that our Discord is always happiness and order, that's not the case, because there is a bit of a war going on in Discord about Tyros.
Oh.
And I'm sure chat will tell me all about it, whether or not you are Team
Eat 'em.
Tyro or Team Tyro Steak. And I am Save the Tyros. Tyros are your friends. They have little hands. And they want to hug you, and they're very happy.
Oh yeah, I guess I will, since we have a lot of people. Seriously, if you're in Florida and you're hearing my voice, you're in the Keys, get out. I don't know why you're listening to this right now. Go.
I completely agree with that. As we see brottster go running to get his slab turned into a chime. Lots of love and hugs to our friends down in the southeastern corner of the United States of America. You've got this this teeny storm called Irma on your way. And as much as I love you watching Randomizer, please do it from a safe location.
Please. Jeez, there are lots of speedrunners in that area. Like, I know of a few that I'm friends with. Please just be safe. It's scary out there. You don't have access to Oxyel. Please don't try.
Right, exactly. So no Tyro sighting for brottster. He's gonna move up to Gaia and get his get his Oxy Ale, and then we will see whether or not either of these players want to go finish off a Fiend dungeon or whether we're going to go to the waterfall next. Zelnas, where would you go at this point?
I like being silly and going to fight Tiamat first if I'm already in go mode. Plus, you already have to go to this area to pick up the ale, and you're actually closer to Mirage Tower than you are to. So I do that. If I have Slab, I end up just doing that. But I guess actually no, because you have to go back to Waterfall. Hey,
xIceblue, what are you doing? Oh, okay. He hit the Tyro and then ran away. So does that mean that he's Team Tyro or not? I'm confused.
I don't know. I need him. I mean, yeah, it's faster not to fight Tyros, but I'm gonna eat him.
He gave the Tyro a love tap and then sent him on his way.
So it looks like, well, I guess in this case I would actually probably go to yeah, I guess I would do this. Does he have to go to Waterfall Cave anyway? Man, this game likes to bounce you around in randomizer. Team
so
Trolls. No.
There's going to be a Tyro that goes home to its family this evening, and he's going to say to his little Tyro family that there was some dude that came up and hit him and then ran away. And he's going to say, "What was that all about?" Into the Waterfall Cave we go. Waterfall Cave is really not all that frightening. Well, of course, I'm going to jinx everybody. We haven't seen anybody cast Toxic or anything yet. Not all that scary to get into and to check these chests and get the cube. Much scarier if you don't have exit or warp and have to walk your way back out. I have been lost in here multiple times.
You say not that hard to get those items, but there's that forced encounter with an army of Pyralisks, so we already know that the Pyralisks can stun lock very easily, and that is required to beat.
Oh, you're right.
We won't be seeing any poison dragons until the final area.
So we've just crossed over the 1 hour mark, and both of our players are sprinting towards the end of the game. This could be as early as a 1 hour, 30-minute seed, depending on how fast they want to finish these things off. brottster still has one more dungeon to finish than xIceblue does, and so if you're watching, xIceblue does have something of a lead here. xIceblue looking for out of bounds bat, nothing there. So out of bounds bat is the only bat in the game that spawns outside of original walkable area. He hides down at the bottom of Waterfall Cave. He's very friendly, happiest bat, but he didn't come out to play for xIceblue. We'll see whether or not brottster gets a look at him.
So yeah, xIceblue is definitely in the lead right now. I actually don't even remember seeing brottster beat Lich. That was fast. Oh, gotta touch this guy. Hopefully he gets out of the way. Goodbye, robot. You'll be missed. Oddly enough, can still move even though he can't talk.
This is one of those places that vanilla Final Fantasy runners and randomizer runners need to check too. I have been in here multiple times, especially when I was just learning the randomizer, and forgot to talk to the robot to get the cube, which means you can't finish the game because you can't get into Sky Castle. So don't forget that.
Please don't forget that. It's almost as bad as missing like a chest in an area. Like, I'm pretty sure I checked all the chests. Where'd this item go? Whoops. Guess I forgot something. And then you find out it was just not talking to the robot. I once forgot the floater and spent 2 hours shining it back to it. Man, Final Fantasy theme. I wonder if people even realize that all of the battles in this game are the exact same theme. I didn't really didn't click for me until somebody pointed it out.
Right?
It's just the same fight music. Like even Chaos, just Still the same. Somehow feels more epic against Chaos, though.
Like they added an extra bass line or something.
Yeah, but it's the exact same track. Every time.
Brottster finds Wall and Invis 2 here in Onrak. Those are both super useful spells. Invis 2 is super helpful for increasing your party's evade. Wall is helpful because it grants your party members a temporary ribbon when casted on them. There's, I believe, only 3 ribbons in the game in the original Final Fantasy. And if you don't find them, that Wall spell is super useful.
Oh, no, I was wrong. He didn't. I was looking at the wrong item. He does not actually have. He's the wind. I was looking at Wind Chime and for some reason thought that was the dungeon completed. It is not. So looks like Brottster is doing a slightly different order.
Yeah, Brottster is jumping into Sea Shrine, and we'll see whether or not he's done checking chests. He's got that both of these runners with the progression items being done early. Have to feel the pressure to try to get this game done as quickly as possible.
Yep. Now, there's an upside to the way that Brottster's doing it, and that's with the slightly added experience, it will be slightly easier to run away. Luckily, it's lit. I just realized that. That's very good. That's going to help out throughout this entire dungeon.
xIceblue joining Brottster in Sea Shrine now. Brottster, and both xIceblue have, this is one of the dungeon's unrunnable encounters. And so you've got to sit there and fight your way through this. The later and later you get into dungeons in Final Fantasy, the more unrunnables you're going to find until you get to the Temple of Fiends Revisited, and it feels like every encounter is an unrunnable at that point.
Well, at least for the first 3 or 4 floors. Once you get to the Fiend floors, it actually gets a little bit better. Other than the elementals, the first 2 floors only have the elemental encounters, then the water temple level, obviously, unrunnables. And TMS floor is so short, it's hard to notice.
Ghost encounters now on either side for these runners as well. Ghosts, not only spooky, hit really hard. For 144 damage, for example. 3 of them not so frightening, but I think they can spawn up to 5 or 6 encounters. 5 for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They're pretty unlikely. They're usually in small batches. And luckily they appear alone and do not have spells. They just have really, really powerful physical attacks.
Brottster running into another unrunnable encounter with Wizard Sahags. xIceblue still holding a 1 dungeon lead going here into Sea Shrine. Brottster will still have to rush through Earth Cave to go ahead and finish that off. If you have anybody in chat has questions about what's going on in the game, or just life questions in general, we'd be happy to help answer them.
Yeah, we're kind of in go mode at this point. What you see is what you get from this speed run. At this point, it's a glorified vanilla run with far less chase check-in.
Right. We're kind of waiting to see if any of these enemies come up with some sort of an awful attack spell that we're not expecting.
Suddenly toxic. At this point, it doesn't look like. I think we've seen pretty much everything that can cast spells, but we haven't seen any. We've seen 1 Tyros this round. I believe we haven't seen. What are they called? The Pisto Demon upgrade.
Many questions coming into chat now. I asked for questions, and here they come. Any Tyro sightings yet, Meowth? Yes, we've seen a couple. xIceblue thought about killing one and then ran away. Iamism, is it a good time to mortgage your house? It depends on your proximity to southern Florida at this point. Too many Mareeps. What changes from round 1 to round 2? There's a couple changes. Most notably, the RNG table is vanilla in round 1. And has been scrambled in round 2, and so any of your step counter strats that you have from a vanilla Final Fantasy won't apply here in round 2. Also in round 2, the enemy skills and spells have been shuffled. Those are the 2 major changes.
Have we found any random nuke monsters yet? No, I'd say the worst would be we have Trance and Pyralists, which should not be a problem now because we're past that force tile. I believe we also somebody cast poison. Just can't remember who. Oh, it was a boss. Boss has cast poison. So yeah, we haven't found any random nukes yet. What are your go-to foods and drinks when sick? Hey, I'm sick right now. I usually can't eat when I'm sick. I've got a pretty low constitution when it comes to that. So, not eating in fluids.
Brottster, getting ready for his attack on Kraken, puts his Black Mage up front. Aw, that seems mean. But he's protecting his knight, which is the smart thing to do.
We haven't seen anybody randomly get turned to stone or die yet, so that's a good thing.
Kraken obliges and slaps Fade the Black Mage to death.
Whoops. Okay, well, we found it.
I saw somebody ask a question about whether a hot dog is considered a sandwich. I think that varies from state to state. I believe that offer is not valid in North Dakota and a couple of outlying islands.
If you call a thing that looks like a sub, or if you call Subway sandwiches, or hot dog sandwiches, we have an issue up here in the north. That's the long and short of it. Don't come to Canada if you think that hot dogs are sandwiches.
Second mage down now for Brottster. The white mage took a dirt nap, but Kraken has fallen, so he'll be able to bring them back up to life here. That's his second orblit. He's got to go rush and finish Earth Cave, as well as Sky Castle. XIceblue, when he's finished up here with Kraken, assuming he finishes, he'll have his third orblit, and all he has left to do then is Mirage and Sky Castle.
Yeah, and then Temple of the Four Fiends Revisited.
Oh yes, that little thing. Go T-Bear asking in chat, does War Mech really exist? We don't know the answer to that yet because nobody has gone to Sky Castle. We will all find out whether or not the Fable War Mech exists together.
He also has a slightly higher chance of appearing in this because, well, we've randomized the RNGs to deal with it. I have no idea. Oh, no, I have no idea where Brottster's going. He must be picking up spells that he never picked up.
Yep, looks like it. Looks like he's going to grab a couple of spells that he was locked out of earlier. Temper is a smart pickup here. XIceblue, there's a Tyro. Let's see what he does. And again, he elects for the white mage to hit the Tyro. There it goes. I don't know, just to show the Tyro who's boss, I guess.
I don't know. I'd eat him. I don't know why runners shut these chests when they're in go mode. If you got this far... Oh, well, okay, well, I feel like an idiot now. I guess I'll just
it's the commentator curse, except you cursed yourself, so it's totally fine.
Okay, well, commentator retires now, I guess. Wow. I guess his red mate can start hitting things really, really hard, or his warrior, whatever he decides. He might opt to keep defense on his warrior. Who knows?
Party Bones, to answer your question, how long is a run on average? It really depends on how the progression items shuffle out. On the short side, a run of about 90 minutes could be seen, and we might see that here. XIceblue is kind of on that pace at this point. Also, if the game is trolly and the progression items come out in a bad order, this game could run anywhere, 2 hours and 15 minutes to 2.5 hours.
500% seeds with crown. Start with a crown in the last chest in this place that XIceblue is in.
Right, you'd set aside your whole day at that point.
Also 500% seeds with Temple of Four Fiends. That's 500% bosses everywhere. Table flip. I was in that seed once. I don't think anyone finished sub 3.5 hours.
Gross.
Literally, it was just like, the rest of the game was fine, and then you got to the temple, and it was like, I heard you like spending 3 hours in the same place.
Nice. xIceblue coming up on the Blue Dragon, which knows Thunder in vanilla, and we will see what it learned here for Randomizer. Or we won't. They'll just kill it to death. Okay.
I like this song. I like it better in the remakes, but pretty good in this one. It's probably one of the better tracks. It's very mysterious.
Yeah, I like this track too, except when you're opening chests one after the next, and all you hear is that same one note over and over and over again. Dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun. Yeah. In PSP, it's fine. The game actually remembers where the music was. It just pauses the music.
Right.
So nice. Yeah, right here.
Just like that. Thank you, xIceblue, for demonstrating what I was trying to say.
I feel like xIceblue is listening to our commentary.
Right.
Cheater.
No, he's not doing that. Okay, everybody in chat, if you want to see Warmech, you have to ask for him. So xIceblue is going to try to make him come out for you, but you have to ask.
Oh, stay away, Mr. Nuke. Gee, I guess he won't have Nuke. He might just test Fire 1. As scary as the Inferno Titan mechs in Boku no Hero. Not actually scary, just looks like it.
This is one of the interesting things I like to see in the game here too. Is once you get to the maze here, do you go up and left, down and right? Oh, he goes left, and this tells you a lot about your personality, I think. Left and down, how deviant. I go right and up, if you were wondering.
Depends on my mood, usually. If the run was bad, I go down. If the run feels good, I go up. Kinda.
Okay, here we go. Does Warmech come out and play or not?
I like the heal before doing this floor.
Ooh, quad red Hydra. That's gross.
That could have actually been scary. Who does upright? What? That's not an option. Okay, that is a lot of encounters for the worst encounter floor in the game. Or for the best. Those fighters, no mute? That's odd.
I don't believe mute has any effect in the game whatsoever.
No, it doesn't actually do anything. And thank goodness it can't be fixed as far as I know. And Troper's here, he could answer that. He answered why it doesn't work. Okay, one more dungeon left for brottster. Oh, it does?
Tiamat I learned today. Ooh, hold. Interesting. Tiamat I learned today in vanilla has all 4 attacks for all 4 dragons as skills. And so it knows the Red Dragon's Blaze, it knows the Frost Dragon's Blizzard, it knows Gas Dragon's Poison, and so on and so forth. I just learned that today, and I've been playing Final Fantasy for 25 years.
I was thinking of Mystic Quest. We're both wrong. It's Mystic Quest where mute doesn't do anything. In this game, it does actually mute your spells. Is this Tiamat being rude? Oh, Fire 2 is kinda rude. Not really, though. And it's down.
We just got a notice from xIceblue. He apologizes. He accidentally reset his timer. So he's just going to leave it at 00. He is not caught in the time loop yet, everyone. So official time is being carried by brottster at this point.
Tyro brought a friend. So many Tyros. there were so many Tyros there.
They were coming out to congratulate xIceblue on finishing the dungeon. xIceblue picking up the last few provisions here before he settles into his attack run for Temple of Fiends Revisited. Again, no RNG manipulation really going to help you out here in round 2 because that has been scrambled. So we'll just see them save and run right in.
Yeah, pretty much. There's no reason to hard reset. Some people have proposed doing no reset races, but that just sounds awful. Just awful. Just the moment you die, you technically can't restart. So
don't sign me up for that.
Yeah, I saw that. I think I saw that mentioned like a few times, like before the tournament, not before the tournament, and then I was like, guys, no, you don't want that.
So xIceblue meeting the Phantom, which is the first of the unrunnable. He's kind of a mini boss more than anything. He can occasionally hit hard and has some nasty spells in the vanilla game. But here he learned Heat, which is not going to be all that frightening.
Oh, both mages dead over on. Oh, Crack! What? Okay, he seems fine. Yeah, so it looks like he is going for the two-party strategy. Oh, no, never mind. They just got cracked to death. So, he is on the last stretch now. He actually got through those first 3 floors as I say that. Never mind.
Here's an unrunnable encounter for xIceblue.
Luckily, he does have a few casts of Fade on his white mage.
Ooh,
so
they know poison. That's gross. And they're frost wolves. There are 4 of them.
That's not good.
Okay, well the frost wolves are gone, so that was the major concern there. Yeah, that would not have been good for them. I don't know if his party would have survived quad poison there.
So I guess I will. Very, very, very good question in chat from Steve is the man. How do you get into these tournaments? Is by invite? Nope. Just pay attention to come back here. Check the bottom. Underneath the channel, there's a bunch of tournaments. All of them are free to enter by anyone. They're mostly noob friendly. I mean, some games are obviously harder than others. For example, Super Metroid Randomizer is very, very hard, and very obtuse to get into. You do need to have a lot of skill in that game. But Final Fantasy 1 randomizers, Zelda 3 randomizers, Zelda 1 randomizers sometimes are all somewhat easy to learn, as long as you have some cursory knowledge of the genre even. So.
And Steve is the man. I just dropped our Discord into the channel, so feel free to join into the Discord and get set up with the randomizer and get set up on some of our races. We're holding version updates until after this tournament is over, so that you can learn exactly what you're seeing in these tournaments and race with us. Yep.
The Isaac tournament is going to be on the newest version of the game, and so definitely join that. That should be fun. I'm doing that tournament, that's why I'm plugging in. If you like randomizers, you'll like Find and Isaac. It's kind of random.
Iceberg's making quick work of Temple of Fiends Revisited so far. Yeah, he hasn't had a whole lot of unrunnables.
Mystic Quest Rando is prone to soft locks though. So less awesome.
And brottster is almost done with the Bridge of Destiny himself, and no sign of Warmech either. So unless he gets him post Tiamat, it looks like Warmech's going to stay home today. Carrie up next starts with Lightning 2 as her first spell. xIceblue will counter with Fog 2, which raises armor. We gotta start looking now for those high impact spells that these bosses have here at the end of the game. There's an instance of Nuke out there. There's Poison, there's Thunder, there's Swirl, Inferno, so on and so forth. It's just a question of who got what here in the randomizer. So Carrie falls, and we move to the water floor next, which is everyone's least favorite floor in randomizer. It has unrunnable water encounters. Well, wow, I jinxed him there. Sorry, xIceblue. 5 water encounters. You got to just fight through these, and they hit very hard. Waters are weak to ice and not so much lightning. I guess the makers of the game thought that lightning would just conduct water, or water would just conduct lightning, and would just pass through. And so it's Ice 3 that's the real spell that can kill these water encounters.
It actually makes sense. Can't blame them for that one. Is actually like what thunder doesn't actually do anything to water itself, except for make it actually more powerful. So
Zelnus, we're closing in on Kraken, which is sometimes the secret last boss of this game. Especially a Kraken that has skills and abilities at 240%. It can reach out and touch someone with its 8 arms and leave them very dead.
Yeah.
You have any good Kraken stories?
Well, just the time that I was mentioning before, where everyone was struggling with Temple, where everything was fine up until Kraken, and then everyone had to sit here and just farm like purple worms. And then once you finally did like get through Kraken, just 2-shotting your party on 500%, then you got to Tiamat, and Tiamat was worse. That was a joy. Thinking you were done, and then you weren't. Then everyone leveled to 50 in that seed, like with like all party members, just because you needed the health pool.
xIceblue pocketing his knight here and bringing him down to the 3rd position, which is probably the smartest thing to do, because as you can see, Kraken hits really hard. That was 725 damage, and his knight would be dead now. So now he needs to pay attention, and oops. Okay. Wow. 16 hit points. Look out.
It's a poison. It's a poison touch Kraken.
Okay. How much HP do you lose to poison touch? Oh, we're not going to find out because he finished it off.
Okay,
that's extremely lucky.
So for people who don't know, because it's not very clear, the 17 to 270 to 240% is actually randomizing each and every stat on the character. So that Kraken looked like it was probably like 70-ish% HP, but a lot of physical.
Yeah, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Almost plastered those mages to the wall. Anybody in chat that knows more than I do, how much HP that white mage would have lost, that white wizard would have lost to poison had that gone to another round.
I can't remember how poison works in battle. I think it would have killed it. I want to say it's like a percentage of your max HP. Might not be. It might be a solid number. I can't remember. Oh, it's just 2 HP? Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of the wrong game. Just 2. Okay, so poison's fine. We were good there. So Tiamat, is Tiamat the final boss? Oh, T-Mat knows Fire 3. Oh wow, his
that's
his black
a
belt.
nasty spell. It's not the worst he could cast, but it's not a good one either. I've also not seen any of these fiends use Cure 4 yet.
His fighter with a crit only dealt 195 damage to Tiamat. So
we've got a high defense Tiamat here. Never mind. A dead one.
Got a good hit there. Never mind. Every time. Okay, so we're probably good unless this is just the worst Chaos ever. Because Chaos can have a very, very, very wide HP pool. I can't remember what his actual HP is and how far it can go up.
Actual HP in vanilla is 2,000, and
so it could be upwards of 4K in this.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. I believe that there's a hard cap though, just can't remember what that is. Because eventually we'll run into like Chaos overflowing his health if there isn't an actual match to his own health. Oh, I cast Tier 4 and I'm dead. Because overflows. Actually, I don't know if overflowing works that way in this game.
xIceblue shuffling his ribbon over to his knight to give him maximum elemental protection. He's going to be the linchpin here to taking Chaos down.
Yeah, Chaos
go ahead.
Yeah, Chaos has 8 spells on his rotation. He has 2 separate 4-spell rotations that he tries to go through. And Fire 3 is actually part of his vanilla set. I think that's actually normally his 3rd spell. So he has 2 separate sets of spells. He has Fire. He goes through like Slow 2, Ice 3, Haste, and then Cure. And his other ones are Frost, Fire, Frost, Heat, and then some Wind spell, and then Crack is in there somewhere. I can't remember what his 4th spell is. I know it's like Frost, Burn, and then Fight. But yeah, so he has basically... Oh, he has that, so that's good. We have high HP. Wasted turn. These slides are nowhere near. You said that it was... Huh?
It goes...
not 240%? You were lying to me earlier.
I apparently wrote the numbers down incorrectly, and we're at 140%, not 240%.
Oh.
So thank you to everybody who's correcting me in chat. I appreciate it. Chaos casting Inferno and turning the red wizard into little red wizardlets. And there goes the black belt. So members starting to fall here for xIceblue, but his knight is still up, and that's the important person here.
His knight is dealing quite a bit of damage. Fade is also dealing more damage than I expected. Oh,
Crack. So now we're down to 1-1 here.
Oh, and it's K. We did it.
That'll be a GG for xIceblue, who finishes up with a second win, and will be our first person to advance to round 3 of the tournament. So big congrats to xIceblue. And brottster is not that far behind. With an SRL time of about 1 hour 32 minutes. That's just an outstanding time by xIceblue, and brottster has nothing to be ashamed of here. He's going to, assuming he gets through this, he's going to finish up pretty shortly as well.
Yeah. Good on both of them. I mean, this isn't actually too far behind. I thought brottster was a little bit further behind than he ended up being. But it's very good of xIceblue. Maybe he'll be in here shortly for a interview. I have to see how much melatonin I have to take. We have the music swapped over. No credit music for us until later. I gotta keep an eye on the channel, see if xIceblue is joining us.
So we're welcome to the commentary room by our victor xIceblue. Congratulations on your time of 1 hour and 32 minutes.
Oh my god, that was a stressful chaos fight.
Yeah,
I saw that Inferno come out and just like whopped my party. I was like, oh.
Yeah, but you got through it. It wasn't too tough of a chaos. That whole run we were thinking it was a 240 was the max, but we were wrong. It was 70, 140.
Yeah.
So we saw you at the end there switch your ribbon over to the knight, and that ended up being probably a saver there when Chaos started throwing those skills out.
I did that because the white mage had absolutely nothing. Like, there was literally nothing in every shop. The only thing that white mage was good for this round was to cast Fog 2 twice. That was it.
Kind of a quiet seed, really, when you think about it. At the beginning, there was not a whole lot in the way of spells in those first two level 1, level 2 slots. What did you think? I mean, we had Zap, and there was not a whole lot there in Provoca at all.
I was upset. I was like, oh god, I was like, this is gonna be a rough seed. I was like, all I got is Lit 3 by the time I made it to Elfland, and I was like, I should have went Black Mage. I was like, Nuke is probably like level 6. Which, I didn't even check the Black Magic shops past 5.
And then all of the progression items started rolling out, one right after the next, boom, 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 and
25-minute go mode.
Yeah, you must have felt like you were in go mode there, and wondering what happened to the rest of the game.
I decided to check chests that were in the way. Like, you saw me like navigate away in Earth Cave, like go to the northern part after the rod, because I had warp. I could easily just warp back and make it to the staircase and just go. My biggest time save that I think I got was finding the Mazmune on Mirage Tower, first floor.
Yeah, that Masamune was a big pickup. At what point did you feel like, you know what, I've got everything I need, I'm done checking chests?
When I found the Mazmune.
Right.
Sorry about that.
I checked those 4 chests before the Bridge of Destiny, mainly because it's 4 easy chests to grab, but other than that, I was done.
Yeah, I ate my own words. I don't normally check any of the chests in Mirage either, and suddenly you found Muramusa. So I was like, oh, well then.
I checked those because it's an easy warp out to save, and it usually Mirage Tower holds something really nice.
It's just like, what, 15, 20 chests in there?
In Mirage Tower, I believe there is 16, and then 18, and then there's 34 or 36 chests in Sky Castle.
Yeah, that's so. So I was saying earlier is like when you don't find that early crown, you can usually count on it being in the last dungeon.
Yeah. When I was about ready to cast warp out of Marsh after I found TNT, but I was like, you know what? Let's check the last chest here.
Yep. That one time that you warp out, that'll be it. And it was right this time. The crown was still hiding down there.
I was even saying, like, just because like brottster's racing very well, but obviously the skill level, I mean, your skill level is probably the highest of most runners here. I was thinking, well, maybe he'll take a gamble somewhere and go to a ditch chest. Turned out that wouldn't have paid off in this run because everything was just kind of where you'd want it to be.
Yeah. 2 key items in Marsh that led to a key item in the what?
Oh, where was
Slab? Was in Canaria Castle.
Yeah, behind, and Floater was in
Volcano.
Floater was just in Volcano in the big chest room.
I classified it as go mode the moment I found Slab because you have to have, Floater to progress to the other dungeons. Yep. But like, so Slab is because you're gonna find Floater very early.
Yep.
Slab and Crown, however, you may not be able to find it until like an hour and a half, 2 hours in.
Worst case scenario, you find it in Ordeals or Ice, whichever one you check second. That's pretty much the worst case scenario for the Floater.
So I see some chatter in chat about what's coming up next. At the top of the hour, we are going to run a dual round 1 race. There's going to be 4 people, 1v1 for a set between Jay Coper and myself, and then Shylazia and Green Cleric are going to also do a 1v1 race, but we're all going to run the same seed. And so you'll see 4 people running the same round 1 race here at the top of the hour. XIceblue, interesting question from Chitin619 asking, would you rather face myself, Jay Coper, or Chitin619 in round 3?
That's a tough question. I mean, round 3 is going to be rough because that's where it introduces incentivized areas and completely random scripts. So you could run into imps with Blaze. You can run into imps with other stuff.
You can also run into Dradians that run away from you. So that's somewhat nice.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, xIceblue. So I have to ask you an important question. We see you being nice to Tyros, except for the white mage, hitting them for 1 damage before you run away. What's going on there? We're all very confused.
It was love taps. Gotta show my love for, my Tyro.
Now you have to eat them.
No, we do not eat Tyros. The love taps for the Tyros were just to tell him hi and that I loved him and to see him later.
Can we ban discussion of nuke pirates and similar pirates? That's just PTSD for every Final Fantasy 1 runner that did 500% seeds anytime ever.
Actually, pirates cannot roll nuke as far as I'm aware of.
They can roll thin similarly bad though.
They can roll crack, toxic, fire 3, and any of the other spells, but they cannot roll nuke.
That's good. But they can learn fire 3, which at that level may as well be a nuke.
I've had a seed like that before.
Yeah.
Alrighty, gentlemen, if it's okay with the two of you, since I'm in the next race that starts in about 10 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and bow out and let the two of you bring this home. Okay, so can you welcome brottster across the finish line when he gets done here? Awesome. Okay, thanks everybody, and I'll see you on. I'll be running around failing in about 20 minutes.
Evil man.
Ooh, brottster having a little trouble with yikes.
Well, that's going to be unfortunate. He's going to have to do Tiamat, which wasn't. Oh no, that was Tiamat. So he's gonna have to do. Yeah, you know what? He should be able to, if he equips right. If he has decent equipment, he should be fine. I think. Please. It wasn't too bad of a chaos. Like it was. The main problem with the chaos was that he has Inferno and wipes the initial party. So.
He's not taking. He's not taking any chances against these rock golems.
No, I wouldn't either. Luckily, you can run from those vampires. Can't run from any other kind of vampires. Although I don't think vampires. I don't think that only vampires can spawn in nests, right?
Oh, he just got a triple encounter before the staircase. Ugh.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. He did heal up. He should be good. What's he doing? He's worried. Oh man. He wants to be able to finish. He has defense equipped, so he can use defense. How many times did you cast defense when you have no mages? Or do you just go ham?
I would cast it twice because I think, if I remember correctly, defense casts 2 stacks of white shirt in one go.
Fiesel, help! Fiesel would know. It's 2 stats. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. I would cast. Yeah.
I would double cast defense.
Oh, what else is he casting there? Was that white shirt? No, it's power. Yeah, it made sense. Is he gonna do defense, power, start wailing?
I would do. Oh god. Oh, fast.
Did Chaos just cast fast?
Yes, he did.
Oh, he also just cast a useless spell. It's like. Okay, we're powering up. We're hulking up. He keeps missing. His accuracy's balls. Thank you, defense. Okay, so it looks like we're invincible right now. Is he trying to one-shot Chaos? Oh, I would start attacking now because he has nuke on his rotation.
We don't know that he has nuke on his rotation.
He just casted nuke.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yay! Oh! Okay, missed again. Oh wow! No, just attack. You have to go all out. It's a manly battle. There we go.
Interpreter in chat. Okay, start swinging. Start swinging.
I love that he reacted to fast with another defense. It's good. It's a good reaction. There we go. GG. Luckily, that ended in time that I won't fall asleep because I took melatonin. Take your vitamins, folks, especially when the doctor tells you to. Yeah, after this race, we will have a double header. Same seed, 2 races. Hello, Brot.
Hey guys.
GG, Brett.
GG.
Good game, man.
That got a little shaky there.
When I was heading to Temple Fiends Revisited, and I checked my party, and like level 20, level 20, level 20, and level 17, I'm like, this isn't good.
Hey, you got through it.
Did we ever see what had nuke today?
You know what?
Chaos did.
Well, besides
Chaos
and
did.
Kraken had nuclear.
I didn't see that. Kraken immediately started the fight and punched my red mage for 740.
That was a great kill.
I would have preferred that. No, it was a very messy seed for my group. Like the spells are just terrible.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
The spells were awful. You didn't have time to grind because you were in go mode at like 25 minutes.
Yeah, and like you had a black belt last match. So I'm just thinking if you have one, you're at such an advantage because if you chose to grind and I have no good spells, like
Yeah, I even said it all depended on if there was a good grind spot or not. And the Red Dragons were actually the better grind this time. By far. Red Dragons died faster and gave more experience.
And I had 4 pro rings.
Yep.
So if they had something super crazy other than Squint, then I was fine.
Yeah, I even pointed that out. I was like, what determines this race is on how strong the common grind encounters are. Because they're in go mode already, and I guess I think I called that pretty good. Because xIceblue could easily grind, and brottster didn't need to grind very much.
Had I not found Mazmune, I would have had a much harder time.
I think so, yeah.
I just grinded to like 3 characters to level 16 at the Agamas, and then that's it. So maybe like 4 or 5 of them, maybe 6. And that was probably where I lost most of my time because it was like 2 rounds each.
It was slow down. If you had, I honestly wonder if on some of these seeds with the chain strips, if it's actually better to just go to the Agama and Red Dragon spot and see which of them is easier to grind. I almost wonder, but like the double Agama is so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. After I saw like they didn't have anything dangerous. It was just dazzle.
Which is fine. It's just they had a lot of health, so it was faster to kill the Red Dragons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think GG on both of you. It is stressful to have go mode that fast in this game because you're constantly wondering, well, exactly where's my opponent right now? Did my opponent screw up and warp out from TNT?
I almost did that.
You both almost did. Yeah.
I saw TNT and I was like, all right, we should leave. Wait a second, hold on.
There's still some more stuff here.
Wow.
I think it would have. The other thing I said, and of no offense to either of you, xIceblue obviously is kind of on a different level from all of us. Rod, were you tempted to make like a gamble somewhere, like knowing that xIceblue probably got a slight edge?
I'll answer that with another question. Where was the gamble? Everything was like, here you go.
Well, the only place I can think of is after Volcano goes straight to do we have Slab yet?
Yeah, we have.
Never mind. Yeah, you guys did everything. Yeah, the only gamble I would have thought would be to go to the first part of that first floor, checking those chests on the on Coven of Earth. That was the only gamble I think you should have made.
That's really inefficient, though, to be honest. Like,
it's super inefficient. But like I said, I mean, if you're taking a gamble at 2 rounds,
if I'm going to look at chests in the Earth Cave, like if I chose one group of chests, it would be probably the last floor before Lich, because there's there's 8 chests there.
Right, but you didn't have
I get them
Ruby.
almost the same amount of time as those three that you're talking about, especially with warp, because you can go up, get the 5, and then warp.
Fair enough.
But
Yeah,
but
unfortunately,
yeah,
there wasn't
to answer your question, if it wasn't like that, like I don't know, maybe.
it's so rough when you don't get that, or when you get the early go mode.
If I felt like I had to like get lucky, I would have probably went to ordeals. Like let's say there was something we're looking for, because I would just figure that ice would go to Ice Cave first. So if I felt like I was behind, I would
I mean, you are right.
probably skip Ice Cave, go to ordeals, right? Because if the, let's say the last Kadam's there, right? Well, now I don't have to check Ice Cave, right? And he had to, so I kind of have to like play those odds. But I never really thought about it. I feel like I'm pretty competitive. Like obviously Ice is better than me, but I think that I can beat him once in a while. So I didn't think that that I was at like a disadvantage or anything like that. But Ice is a very good player. Like don't get me wrong, he's one of the best players in the whole group.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like I have a chance sometimes, you know.
I think it's just a matter of watching a lot of the top players. Like I watched a lot of Kaba stream, I watched a lot of Tristal stream, I watched a lot of Czar stream, just to get like tips and pointers on like who can equip what, who can learn what, and learning all the stuff like that.
Another great one is actually, I think everyone who wants to get into this should go and watch Fiesel and Jar's duo run from last SGDQ, because they go over all the things that are bud, and they explain what they are supposed to do, which is what they do in this version. They pretty much go through literally every mechanic you could possibly want to know about this game.
Yeah.
It is actually a brilliant run.
Where I know I can start saving time is if I like memorize what the red mage can use magic wise and equipment wise, that kind of stuff. But being this new to the randomizer, I'm just trying to get fast at everything else, and then like just get good at it, and then do all the little things to get, even better.
Another thing I can say that I took the time to learn, learning all of the safety tiles in each dungeon and how to use them to your advantage, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of stuff that I took a lot of time into learning, was just learning a lot of the safety tiles.
Absolutely. So there's a 4-player race going on right after this, isn't there?
Yep.
Yes,
there
I'm
is.
I'm
on
actually
this channel?
Yeah, I'm actually tracking that one. So
Oh,
Nice.
I would have helped track, but I should go to. Hey, and look, it's switched over. So why don't we pass it on to our next commentators? Don't forget to follow Ichiban, me, xIceblue, Brott. Subscribe, follow to this channel, Speed Demon 2. Other tournaments are down below that you can join yourself. Discord is found actually, I believe, if you type in !FFR, it's found in the challenge bracket. So enjoy, everyone. Peace out, and enjoy the other races. So actually, don't peace out. Stay here, right here.
Thanks
Good
for
game,
watching, guys. And you guys should all totally come join the Discord channel and try your hand at this randomizer. It's a lot of fun.
Goodbye, YouTube.